Hi, it's Trent Maclean. Welcome to PPG Fitness. We're going to walk you through the basic warm-up that everyone does before any of our segments. Now, I don't know where you guys have been or what you've been doing today, but the first thing we need to do is change our head. And we got to get out of wherever we were and get into PPG Fitness. So I just want you to close your eyes at first and start taking some deep breaths. Just hold it slightly, hold it for a second or two, and let it all out. Let those shoulders just kind of fall naturally. Don't worry about your posture right now. One more. Fill it up. Okay, welcome back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the bigger body parts first and just kind of get everything in motion, get everything loosened up. I just want you to start here with some hip rotation, just going kind of clockwise if I'm facing down to start with. Doesn't have to be exaggerated, just loose, just get those hips moving. Hips, very important part of ping pong, especially when you're moving side to side or front to back. Let's just reverse that now. Same motion the other direction. Knees should always be slightly bent when we're doing these, and feet should be hip or slightly more than that apart so that you feel balanced. And at any time through these exercises, should you feel lightheaded, either use a wall for support or sit down if necessary, or stop and rejoin. But do not continue if you're lightheaded, have a balance problem. And before we get into anything more serious, make sure that you've checked with your internist, your residing physician, on whether exercise is safe for you, and particularly the type of activity we'll be doing. Ours is fairly light, but we're not going to assume anything for anyone. Everyone's situation is different. Now let's take the arms and just up and back all the way. Now this isn't a flexibility test. Everyone's got a different range of movement, either because of injuries, age, or the amount of stretching you do. Just go all the way up as far as you can and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. And keep that breathing going. The other thing that a lot of people do in activity is as they're concentrating on executing something specifically, they hold their breath. I know in most sports that I do, I've been guilty of that many times and have to constantly remind myself to breathe through activity. Okay, let's just wrap around the body now. And really easy, soft, flowing, nothing exaggerated about it, nothing jerky, just flow back and forth. Again, as far as hips can go. And if you're feeling comfortable, and again, you don't get lightheaded, let your head follow. Some people will tend to get a little dizzy once the head starts to follow the body. If it does, just keep it stationary like this. It's whatever, work within yourself, it's your workout. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to respond differently to it. Okay, let's just shake it out. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Now, hips and hip opening and transfer of weight are very important in ping pong. And we're going to start inside out with the hip openers. Inside out. Now again, the height of your knee could may only go this high, just with your foot slightly off the ground. If you have good balance and strength, you can take it up higher. But again, it's not a competition on this. If you haven't done this before, start low to the ground, in and out, in and out. If you're feeling frisky here and you got the good balance, again, the knee can be way up and out and in. And you switch to the other side. Start low. I'm just coming off a pickleball injury here, so my right side isn't quite as flexible right now. So I'm going to do the abbreviated version on my right side, accomplishing the same thing. So again, inside out. Now what we're going to do is do the same movement, but outside in. Outside in. And again, on my more affected side, it happens to be my Parkinson's side as well, but it's going to be a little bit lower to the ground, outside in. Okay, now this is a great example of one where you'll be able to execute this with, a higher knee circulation and open the hip much greater if you go to the wall or the table for a little extra balance. Watch the difference in how stable I am when I have that hand against the wall. Now I can really stretch that out and get a much better opening on both directions. Alternatively, over to the table, same thing. Here it's much more confident. I'm not worried about the balance. I'm working more on the flexibility in the hip openers. So again, you do that for two reasons. One, if you need the balance, or if you just want to get more of a stretch and more of an opening on that hip. Now, this position is that ready position in ping pong. And what you can do is if you go to Walmart or Amazon and online, very inexpensive, probably for less than $10, you can get 10 of these and they come in different resistances. So back with one of my props here, you can pick these up on Amazon for less than $10. They come in a variety of resistances, rated by color. And this is a great one for ping pong particularly. If you haven't done any activities that require side-to-side movement, you get the resistance where you're just going from out and in laterally as if you're going from a forehand to a backhand, covering the end of the table. Again, feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, and have your rear ends tucked out a little bit in that ready position. Once you get into that rhythm, if you're comfortable with that, you're balanced doing that, you start to move into as if you're playing a shot on a backhand or a forehand, roughly on a 30-degree angle, back and back to center. And if you happen to be having to go back for a shot, same angle, back off of center on the right side. Once you get comfortable with this, you can get into this with the coordination move and into a rhythm. This is more advanced move. And to do this one too, again, you may want to go to the pole or the table when you start to get used to that first move where you put two of them together. Side to side, side out, side front, side back, side back. Again, same as we did with the hip opener, you go back to the table, and once you're ready for that next move, side, side, front, side, side, front, side, side, back, side, side, back. So you can see how you can progress and build with this, so it becomes great for working all the muscles on the exterior, helping with the balance and getting you ready for those forehand and backhand foot movements. A lot of coordination involved here. I'm even a little winded on that. How about that? So that's a great one. I love that one.
Okay,
Okay, next we just finished with the bands. Let's flip the band off. And right now, one of the most important positions in ping pong is that ready position. And for a lot of people to be in this position for any length of time can be trying. So remember here, feet apart, a little more than shoulder width, knees bent, and just stick that rear end out a bit. Now let's start to be up and down as if you're doing squats, but with a flat back. And remember, most people will be tending to do it this way, straight up and down. You want to do it so that you're sticking out a bit here. And again, it depends on your own flexibility and strength. We'll do about 12 of these this way. And breathing. And that's that ready position. And once you get a little bit more confident, you go a little deeper. Now, same thing, when you take it to the wall, because as you go deeper, you could tend to lose your balance. So by doing this again, once I have just even my fingers on the wall, it gives me much more stability. So if I just happen to waver a little bit from one side to the other, even fingertips on the wall is going to give me more confidence and stability as I go into a deeper squat. Same thing on the table. It's amazing what even a finger or two will do in terms of keeping you level and confident if you have a bit of a balance issue or if this exercise is new to you. For many of you, probably sticking out your rear end in a squat is a new one, and that's going to take more leg strength, and it engages the glutes as well as the quads. Okay, we've done a lot of work with the hips and the knees, and let's just shake those legs out. And this is one I will recommend that most of us do over against the wall before we go to upper body, and that's just get that ankle first on a rotation, then reverse it, and then side to side, point and extend, and bring those toes up to you as far as you can. Because again, all of this is to not only loosen that up, but to strengthen it so that you're stable when you go to make that shot. Same thing on the table. Other side, do that full rotation, side to side, point, and back, big toe towards the nose. And then you got that lower body in good shape and pretty limber, ready to go. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more now on the upper body, arms straight ahead. And the first motion on this one, you're gonna keep looking straight ahead at me and take that left arm back as far as it'll comfortably go, horizontal to the ground. It's important to keep it horizontal. Again, go to where you get a nice bit of resistance, but not too much on that side, and then alternate to the other side. Again, head straight ahead, arms parallel, horizontal to the ground. After you've done a few of these, again, this one, some people can be lightheaded or dizzy. If you immediately detect any of that, stop doing it. Follow your hand behind you, and you'll notice that your stretch goes a little farther when the head follows. As my head follows, I'm almost directly to the back of the room. Other side, I notice there I'm a little bit tighter. That's also my affected side for Parkinson's. So then you can get into a rhythm. Here's where we get into the coordination, smooth motions. Again, lightheaded, stop it immediately, please. You may resume then after you're feeling better, but make sure you feel balanced and rhythmic in that movement. Now let's hit the shoulders, roll them back. And again, this isn't exaggerated, it's a smooth motion, still remembering to breathe. Now a little bigger on those rotations. Let's go forward. Okay, I'm going to take everybody to the pillar and to the table on this one because it's a little unpredictable in terms of the lightheadedness when you do this. So let's hand on the wall, doesn't matter which side, and just start to nod comfortably as far as you can go. Yes, nodding yes. There may be some crunchiness in the neck, don't worry about that. You're just not used to extending that range of motion. Now, we'll go to no. Some of you probably do this one better because you do it more in real life. Go from left to right. You'll notice one side is usually, goes a lot farther in the rotation than the other. Do not push this one. As far as you go comfortably on side to side, over the table, same thing. Remembering always knees slightly bent, that wide stance. Now you're just saying no, 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 no. Now, if you're feeling really adventuresome, you have no dizziness, let's just do a full rotation, roll around. That's it. This one is you're probably hearing and feeling a lot of crunchiness. Other way, reverse that on the full rotation. Okay, let's not forget about the point of contact with the ping pong racket, and that are the hands and the wrists. So this is one of our coaches, Alex, does, which I kind of like. I don't even think I can do it both ways, but it's kind of like a sine wave when your heart's kind of in the sinus rhythm, and you can just kind of get the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers, all into one motion. And when he said go the other way, I had to really think hard about it just to try and get it in sync. I wasn't quite as rhythmic on the other side. But that one's great for just everything from the shoulders down. And then quickly, let's just get those fingers back on both hands. Back comfortably where you can. Nice stretch on that way. and down, same thing, push against the wrist, eat it gently. Other side, shake it out. PPG Fitness! Now you're saying, when do we get to the game? Well, one more step before that. We just want to put it all together and get the whole body moving, and we can incorporate the racket and just start with, what we call an easy, slow march. And for some of you, if you happen to have PD, you have to get both arms moving together, slightly off the ground with the heels and toes. Then as you get moving a bit more, a little bit more range of movement on the arms, a little higher on the knees, and breathe with it. Just get into a rhythm with that. Now this is almost like being in that ready position. And from here, we'll start stepping out, stepping across, doing our forehands and our backhands, depending whether you're right-handed or left-handed. I just did 2 forehands there. Step out, step across, sideways. Just get up the heart rate elevated slightly, and at that point you're ready to step over, pick up the racket, and incorporate now some of the very same motion with the racket as if you were hitting a slice on the backhand, hitting a forehand, and now you're getting a lot of the coordination and the balance put together before you've even seen the ball. And all of what we've just done has got you ready for that. And you're not going to pull anything, you'll feel more balanced and ready for it. And all of that has been worth it, transitioning from whatever you were doing, getting you ready for the drills. So we finished the warm-up, what's next? Now we want to take you to incorporate the ball and the racket. So go to our website at pingpongforgood.org and you'll be able to see some great examples of 3 segments. One starts literally without the racket with ball tossing, graduates then to balancing, and then the 3rd step will actually be bouncing. And variations of those, progressions that make it more difficult, it'll take you a while to work your way through those. Check those out at pingpongforgood.org, and thanks for coming out.